this is Dave Bazar, and I'm here with Blake Quadros, and this is the latest. So Blake and I are going to try to talk a little bit about buds. This is the time of year where we all start saying, are there good bud counts? Is there not? Blake, why don't you just give me a little lesson about what the buds are doing?
Well, you know, we've kind of finished up harvest and we're in the dormancy period of growth. We're looking at 1-year-old wood that was set from last year. So, you know, we're looking to see what the buds are doing and developing as we get closer and closer to bloom.
So as a refresher to all you, buds only occur on 1-year-old wood. So that's what he's talking about, right? So we always are trying to get the trees to make sure they continue to put out growth, either by pruning vigorously, which we don't do anymore, or we fertilize and water them, huh?
I would think the fertility side of it is probably very important. You're maintaining the crop you've got on the tree as well as pushing new growth for next year's crop.
Okay, so that growth is typically characterized by what? Looks red, right?
Yes, yes, not that gray kind of muted color. You're looking for some of that red tinge or red color that you're talking about.
Yeah, and you almost always see that on young stuff, right? I mean, they just look red, the whole thing, right? And it always feels like, wow, there's potential there because they got new growth and all those can have flower buds on them. I guess we should mention that the flower bud, the buds differentiate. They either are going to be a leaf or I'm going to be a flower. That typically is happening right around August, I guess. I think in my mind, that's kind of why you want to try to keep those, well, you don't want to stress your trees through the year anyway, but that's a difficult time of year anyway. Harvest is on you, stress levels are up. I think we all think that the more stressed a tree is, the more it's going to go vegetative maybe rather than fruitful.
And I think that's the important part of the year also. You got to get water on, you've got to, get through harvest, post-harvest fertilization program. Do you have a program? How much are you putting on? Trying to put these trees to bed going into that setting of the fruit for next year.
How important is that then to have buds?
I think it's part of the consideration of the overall picture. You're not going to set every flower and every nutlet may not stick either, but I think it's part of the entire program. You're probably, at the end of the day, going to get 20% of it or so.
I've even heard less than that sometimes.
Okay. So again, I think it's just part of the equation is what we're talking about. And again, it goes back to, how stressed were those trees? What kind of fertilizer? And I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I think it's just very important when you're trying to maintain crops from one year to the next.
Yeah, and I think your point is it's just one part of the equation, right? And I think we feel comfortable when we got a lot of flowers, but if only 10 to 20% are going to set, it's maybe the pollination is going to be the key that year, or maybe it was, like you said, the strength of the tree, the health, how good is it coming off of, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we talk a lot about buds. Let's take a little look-see. It's hard to determine right now. I think they start to show up as they swell a little bit more on what is a flower bud and what is a leaf bud. I guess we're saying it's important, but maybe not so important.
And we might be a little bit early right now taking a look at it.
But it's what we want to look at, just one of the factors that are going to be involved in the deal. So let's take a little look and point out what the 1-year-old wood looks like and hopefully some of the flower buds. Professor Bazar says this is 1-year-old wood here. That's pretty easy to tell. Sometimes these smaller, and hopefully you can see that on the camera, that is just a tiny little spur that is popped out, and that means that it's 1-year-old wood. This is 2-year-old wood here, the gray stuff. What we're trying to decide is whether they're pointy and thin or they fat and round. And right now it's a little difficult to tell for me. But on a more mature tree, the stuff's going to be up on top,
right,
and where the light is. But that's what buds look like. This is the time of year to go out and start counting, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been Dave and Blake, and that is the latest. Oops, we forgot again. Hey, Mike, what do you got for us?
We just want to wish everybody a very happy new year and thank everybody for their business and trusting us to be a partner of theirs. Happy New Year, and here's to a fruitful and prosperous 2022.
Happy New
Happy
Year!
New Year.